Welcome to MTM Vegas. I'm Sean, the founder of Miles to Memories. Glad to have you here. We're going to discuss this week's Vegas news. And with me, I have my managing editor for Miles to Memories, Mark Osterman. Welcome, Mark. Thanks for joining me.
What's up, YouTube? How's it going? How you feeling today?
Doing good. Excited to talk about the news. And we're going to start out by talking about Cromwell because you are coming to Las Vegas for the Circa opening, right? And
Yes. Yep.
you were hoping to stay with Cromwell, but they just delayed the opening again.
Yeah, I was supposed to be staying there next week, and Cromwell is probably my favorite Caesars property. I love it. It's beautiful. It's still boutique. It doesn't feel like Vegas when you're in it because there's not a ton of rooms. But I got the email. I got the email yesterday that they were moving me to Caesars, upgrading me to Caesars, which I don't. I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of Caesars Palace, so I didn't call that an upgrade. But so I guess it's been keep getting pushed back. It was originally supposed to open early October, and they just keep letting people book rooms, and then they slowly but surely push them off. So I'm sure that's the plan. Just get people to book wherever, and then we'll jam them into a property we do have open. I'm guessing. I don't know. So I'm trying to get into Nobu because I've never stayed there. It's been a property I've been wanting to see, which is a tower in Caesar's Palace, but it's almost kind of like considered a separate hotel. So I've been trying to get in there. I'm working on it. I was trying to get the same comp. I called the 1-800 number. They were pretty much worthless. The guy had no clue what I was talking about. And he's like, "Oh, here's the number for Nobu." I'm like, "No, man, I want to move my reservation. You guys moved me, and I want to transfer it over. If you can put me into this hotel instead." So I finally just reached out to a host that had emailed me in the past, and he's going to look into it and see what he can do. So hope fingers crossed. Then you can do a video of Nobu.
Well, Nobu, it looks great, and it's one of the few Caesars properties I haven't stayed at. And Mark and I are both Caesars Diamond. We both have Founderscard, and I'll put a link in the description for all the info on Founderscard. But you pay a yearly fee, and that includes Caesars Diamond status, which is pretty cool because you don't pay resort fees. You get front of the line in certain areas. And then once in a while, you do get comps too, even if you don't gamble. When I first got my diamond status, I used to get comps all the time. But since I don't gamble a lot, those have sort of dried up. But when Mark was telling me about Cromwell, I went to their website just today to see when they have their now the date that you can book it. And it's pushed out through October 29th. But for some reason, my account, Mark, had a comp. I had a comp for October 29th for Cromwell.
Winning.
So
Winning.
I have not had a comp on that account in years, even though I have diamond status, but I have been staying at a lot of Caesars
And the funny,
properties. So
they were
who
even
knows?
going to charge you at like Flamingo and everything too for that night. It was only Cromwell that you're getting.
Correct. Yeah. I'll put a screenshot up in the video so people can see it because everything I did the month long view, every Caesars property, every night is a cost except for one night at Cromwell on the 29th. And of course, I booked it. That's my magic night. And I'm hoping that they really do open that night, but if not, I'll get moved to Caesars Palace and then I'll do a video about
You're going to be
that. But
hanging
I'm
out at Dre's, dancing the night away.
absolutely, absolutely. I've been on that corner so much filming it and sticking my camera inside there, and it's such an interesting corner of the strip. And I don't know, some sort of an ecosystem has grown up there with it closed on the corner. So I'm hoping it reopens and sort of keeps that area a little bit nicer, a little cleaner than it's been. But nonetheless, I'll take a comp. And it's a good reminder if you have Caesar status, if you haven't checked your account in a while, check it to see if there's a random comp there or if they've updated the comps because they are redoing things constantly to kind of target different people. And now, I mean, we're going to talk about Circa, later on after we visit it in a couple weeks. But what are the things you're most looking forward to for Circa for this trip?
The pool area for sure. I mean, it looks insane. And I'm not even like a pool person. Like when I go to Vegas, I don't sit by the pool like my wife will sometimes. I know that's a lot of people during the day they'll go hang out at the pool and pay $20 for a drink. But that's not really me. But the TVs and the setup, I think it's going to be a cool place to hang out, and watch games and bet on sports because the whole idea of Circa is sports betting. They want the biggest sports book in the world. They want a huge TV so you hang out and watch the games outside. So I think that's going to be kind of like a draw, kind of like a pool party atmosphere with sports and everything at night. I'm sure it'll be lit up really cool. So I'm excited to see that and just to see what Derek Stevens rolled out because I'm a big Derek Stevens fan from Michigan, so got to give him love.
Yeah, Mark is from Detroit, and his Twitter, if you want to follow him on Twitter, is at Detroit Mark. So he represents Michigan as well. And Derek Stevens has put everything into the Circa. It's pretty amazing that he knows his demographic, what he's going for there, and things like the sports book and the pool are going to do really well, I think. And that pool looks amazing. If you watched our downtown video on the channel from about a week ago, you could see it filled with water, or the 6 pools filled with water, and that is just really exciting. I really love the old school little touches that they put into the property, the flashing lights, some of the things that are going to be on the inside with the artwork. I'm excited for that. I like that we have something modern and new, but they're also paying tribute to the past of Vegas, because that street, Fremont Street, is where Vegas began. And there's so much history there compared to the Strip, which is a little bit newer. So I'm really
I
excited
was
for
waiting
it.
for you to say Zingerman's deli sandwiches
What,
that you're most
yes.
excited about.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot. I forgot. I've like selectively blocked that out because I can't eat bread right now. So
Oh, can I
I'll
get a
just go.
sandwich? Hold the bread, please. Thank you.
Zingerman's is a famous deli in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they're going to have a outlet in Circa. So that is exciting. And we are both going to be there, and we will have definitely some content here, a show like this talking about it, but then also a video previewing it and showing you guys what it's all about when it opens. One other really fun thing and exciting thing that we got news of actually today is, or some of it this week, some of it today, entertainment is coming back to the Las Vegas Strip with not just one or two shows, but many shows returning. Mark, I know a couple Caesars Entertainment or Caesars Resort shows have announced that they're coming back. What are the details there?
Yeah, the Absinthe show, which is I think it's the most popular show in Vegas, is coming back on the 28th. They have like an outdoor tent area. It's still gonna stay in the tent, which is pretty cool. They're gonna do like cabaret style seating where they put tables set up. They're all 6 feet apart, and you can sit in parties of 2 to 5. So that's kind of unique. It gives it a different vibe. They're gonna have like a new air purification system, temp screening, everything. Wear masks. So trying to make people feel safe and comfortable. I know they have some interaction with the crowd when they're there, so I'm guessing that's going to be shut off or whatever, but should be good. It's a show I've been wanting to see and haven't quite made it to, so I'm excited. I'm trying to convince Sean to go check it out next week. If you can get a ticket, only 250 people, so
Yeah,
it's going to be
Mark
near
is convinced
impossible.
that there's. Yeah, he's convinced that there's actually going to be tickets to be had for any of these shows. But it's good to see them coming back. And one of the sort of requirements the governor made was anything over 250 people, there was going to be additional requirements and applications. So it seems like they're keeping these shows to a smaller crowd. And on that road, kind of down that avenue, MGM Resorts announced a bunch of shows coming back, and there's some really interesting ones in there. To start, David Copperfield is returning at the MGM Grand to the David Copperfield Theater. So he's actually returning to his venue. Now, capacity at all of the shows with MGM is capped at 250 people, and that's going to make for some interesting shows as I'll go on. Jabberwockies are in one of the smaller venues at MGM Grand normally, but now they are moving to the MGM Grand Garden. And if you don't know how big the MGM Grand Garden is, it seats about 17,000 people, Mark. So it's quite a big
Give me
venue,
some
and there will
space.
be, yeah, and there will be 250 people at maximum allowed in the audience. So that will be quite an experience, a very unique situation. The Jabberwockies, of course, have moved around through various MGM properties. I believe they were at Luxor for a period of time, and they at Monte Carlo. I actually saw them at a tent that they had set out in the Monte Carlo parking lot, right around where T-Mobile Arena is today. That's where the tent was, and that's where they used to perform. But they are going to the Grand Garden, and I would love to get tickets for that just to see a 250 people in the Grand Garden for a show. And the Jabberwockies are really awesome. They're a great dance troupe. Um, and then how about comedy? Comedy's coming back to the Las Vegas Strip. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. It's usually in the basement area, kind of in that little mall that connects the parking garage to MGM Grand. It's going to move to the ballrooms over by MGM Grand Garden. There's these two big ballrooms, and so that's where you're going to go see the Comedy Club. And Carrot Top and Fantasy are returning to Luxor, but instead of in their normal theater, they're moving to the main Luxor theater, the big theater there. And
How
then
long has
Australia
how long has Carrot Top been in Vegas? Like forever, man. I can't believe he's
forever.
still on it.
I
He's
used
still
to
a long run, man. He's done well.
in 98, 99. I worked at MGM Grand in the arcade there, and I used to see him. He would at that period of time he was doing his shows occasionally at MGM. So he wasn't a headliner here yet at Luxor, but he was performing there, and it's a really cool guy. So yeah, he's been doing Vegas for 20 plus years, and he's been at Luxor for I don't know 15 years, something like that, a long, long time. And then at also speaking of a long time, Thunder from Down Under at Excalibur for the ladies, they've been there
Yeah,
forever.
there you go.
They're coming back to the Thunderland showroom along with the Australian Bee Gees. So MGM, basically 7 shows coming on November 6th, limit of 250 people per show. And some of these are changing venues. There is a 25-foot distance that the performers have to have with the audience, and then there has to be a 6-foot distance between separate parties. That's what's mandated for them. But it's great to see that they're able to return and that entertainment's coming back to the Strip.
Yeah, and then Piff the Magic Dragons coming back on the 29th. It's going to be at the Flamingo showroom, and I'm a big America's Got Talent fan, so I've been a fan of Piff since he was on that show. So, and the interesting thing was that show would always pop up, the shows for the 2 free show tickets for Diamond members and the BOGO offer for Platinum. They go back and forth, some come on, some go off, like Penn and Teller's a mainstay that's always on there, but Piff is one that had gone on and come off, and it was on before everything shut down. So it'll be interesting to see if what they do with that when all the shows start to reopen with only 250 seats. Are they going to still do the 2 free tickets? Is it going to be near impossible to get free tickets? And then, is Piff the Magic Dragon going to be on there? Because that's one of the better options if he is.
Yeah, I think it's great that they are making the efforts to open these shows, that some of these smaller, productions can go back, and that people can once again go to entertainment. I think it's a very exciting move. I have friends who work in entertainment departments at the casinos, and they're very, very excited for this. So it's a first step, and hopefully the first step in many, as Las Vegas has just gone through so many different changes as we reopen. And I don't know, this year has been quite an interesting year, even since June, watching the different phases of the Las Vegas Strip, which sort of brings me to the reason that we're doing this show, Mark, and maybe a little intro into this show that we're going to be doing every week, talking about Las Vegas news. People watching the channel might recognize my voice, or maybe recognize me from some of the videos I've done on the channel: Las Vegas tour videos, construction tours, reopening videos, hotel reviews, guides. So that's the kind of content that I've been filming for Miles to Memories for the last 6 months on the YouTube channel. But we also have a website that's been around for about 8 years, where we talk about travel rewards, travel in general, miles and points. And Mark is the managing editor of the website. He basically runs the day-to-day over there, and he's also a big lover of Vegas. And more importantly, you do Vegas in a very different way than I do Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas balls to the walls all day, all night. So a lot of short trips, but very little sleep involved. So it's always a fun place, man. It's the adult Disneyland. So I'm excited to go back. I haven't been. I was supposed to go the second week of March Madness, so everything shut down like 2 weeks before our trip, and it had probably been 4 or 5 months since I had been to Vegas at that point. So, it's been a while, and I'm itching to get back. So I'm ready, and I'm excited for this show. We get to talk about it, bring up the stuff, and then share details when we go on trips or when you visit places. Excited to talk about Circa next week, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I think that we have 2 different perspectives to bring talking about Vegas, but we both know Vegas incredibly well. And we cover Vegas a lot on the website too. So if you're interested, milestomemories.com. Subscribe there. We also do a Miles and Points travel podcast, mtmpodcast.com. And I'll put everything in the description. But we'll be here every week on YouTube, on the Miles to Memories YouTube channel, doing Vegas news, letting you know the latest, talking about different subjects, how to maximize your travel, how to save money on Vegas too, all kinds of stuff like that. So stick around. Make sure you do a thumbs up on this video. Share it with friends. Let us know what you're looking forward to seeing with the entertainment in Vegas when you come back. Which shows stick out to you? Does the idea of watching the Jabberwockies in a 17,000 seat arena kind of stand out to you? Does that sound interesting? Let us know. We'll both be in the comments to discuss it. And thanks for watching this episode of MTM Vegas. Thanks to Mark, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Thanks, guys.